Hey everybody, Scott Holden here, and before we start the show, I just want to take a minute and tell you where you can find us out on the interwebs. The best place to find us? bonecrushingjuggernaut.com. That's right, bonecrushingjuggernaut.com. And if you don't feel like typing, hey, save yourself some letters. BCJ628 will take you there. There, you can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes, on Stitcher. You can find links to our Twitter feed, where we are on Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, all that good stuff. So please, just head on over to bonecrushingjuggernaut.com for all your bone-crushing juggernaut needs. And I hope you enjoy the show.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts use adult language in conversation, just like most of everyday life. If you are too uptight, this might not be for you. Prepare to be crushed!
And I think one of the reasons I'm standing here instead of other people is that I have deals in Russia.
I thought we could sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak.
To be honest, I inherited a mess. It's a mess.
The third, broadly, line of work is what is deconstruction of the administrative state.
And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country.
Consistent. If you look at these cabinet appointees, they were selected for a reason. That's all going to be deconstructed.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror.
Number one, I am the least anti-Semitic person that you've ever seen in your entire life. Number two, racism. The least racist person.
You know what look at my African-American over here. Look at him.
I have a great relationship with the blacks. I've always had a great relationship with the blacks.
Who are you?
Bone-crushing juggernaut.
I've always had a great relationship with the blacks.
The blacks?
The blacks.
The B-L-I-C-K.
The blacks.
The blicks?
The blacks.
The blacks.
The black. You can't say the black people. They're the blacks. I love the blacks and the blacks love me.
The blacks.
They're like one long, big, arbitrary. They're like the unemployment line, the blacks. I really like them. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this racist message.
The only blacks he likes is the profit margin.
The only black I like, yes, is the black ink, bitches. way to observe on that, my son. Bone Crusher Juggernaut, Scott Holden, and Cameron Holden, who you presently see on the mic. Yes, that's right. I will have to say that
I am your father.
And yeah,
You are mine. I don't know if you're that evil.
Here we are in the wide shot. Well, I take after, good old Donald Trump.
No!
But today is a good.
Yes.
Today is a good.
Today was a good day. Today's a good day in that, hey, we just saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I even liked it, I think, better than the first one.
I had a better message.
But you need the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't know that if you walk someone into that movie cold.
Who the fuck is that Arrow dude?
Yeah, there'd be a lot of you do need to see the first one.
Why is Groot small?
But if you've seen the first one, you would get it. I mean, you definitely. Yeah. I really like this one.
Did you watch it?
There was a lot more laughs.
Did you watch it yesterday?
At least twice.
I didn't watch it.
But I didn't really watch it so much as it was on.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's been the problem with it the last couple times I threw it on. I haven't really watched it. I've just kind of.
So you thought it was better than the first one? Just funnier than
I
the
just
first
liked
one?
it more. Yeah, there was a lot more humor. A lot more humor, particularly with fucking Drax.
Drax is hilarious in the movie.
Totally hilarious, and because
he's so
deadpan. He's so dead. He has no real emotion. So
You're
he doesn't.
Ugly.
Yes, he doesn't understand that he's like
he's a complete dick.
Yeah, and that he's also funny at the same time.
Yeah. You're ugly. I wanted to admit softly, but you're ugly.
I needed that after, the whole healthcare thing.
No worries.
And let me just jump to the end. Cameron won't be able to see this, but right now on the screen is a picture of ugly fuck Rodney.
Is it like a
useless Rodney? No, it's his glossy press shot. With his fake
I thought we were in the background. I can be like,
it really looks like his high school, it probably looks like his senior picture
photo
for a dick
but he's
like
old.
This. Yeah, but he's an old dude, and he, with the stupid American flag.
For all
in the
we
back.
know, he might have graduated at that age.
You know what? It looks like he probably had this done at Sears Portraits, if you ask me. But what's displayed on the screen says, after saying that he would vote against the repeal and replace of the ACA.
Did he specifically say that?
Well, the first time, yeah. Remember when it almost came to a vote? Yeah. And then he tweeted out that he had, he was not planning on voting for it. Of course, it's easy to say that when it doesn't come to the floor.
Apparently that 1% became 100%.
Now, here's the funny thing. That bill got so much worse.
Mm-hmm.
It was made worse because they made compromises with the Tea Party, who like to call themselves the Freedom Caucus. But to me, they'll always be the Teabag Party. Which is that's what they originally were too. It wasn't even the Tea Party. It was the Tea Bag.
But then they realized that they can.
Then they didn't realize that that name had changed. That term.
That means you can hump someone in the mouth.
Yeah, the term teabagging is
with your balls,
dropping balls in someone's mouth. Or some shit. So when that was pointed out to them, they changed it to Tea Party, and then they got mad that many people still call them teabaggers.
Yeah, get triggered.
But, what are you going to do?
Get triggered.
Get triggered. Ah.
Whatever.
That's funny. So anyway, then they rammed this even shittier bill through. It was all a political stunt.
I do think it's funny that...
Because essentially they were challenged that they couldn't do anything.
People before were like, it's not fucked up enough. I want to vote for something more fucked up.
They made it worse.
And they're like, oh yeah, good job. We did it. We made it worse.
What's funny, too, is there was one condition that, in every debate, in every news article, and everything, every politician agreed, everybody agreed that protections for people with pre-existing conditions was a good thing, and that it should stay in place. Everybody agreed on this thing. So here's my question.
Why are they?
Why is that the one thing
that's out there
that they try and fucking destroy?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you exactly why. Because insurance companies fucking hate it. Insurance companies hate it because it's a nice...
It's the main loophole.
Big, fat loophole they can use to deny coverage and do all kinds of fucking shit to fuck people out of money.
Literally anything can be considered a pre-existing condition.
Exactly.
As long as it's more than a day long or something.
Yes. And there's other things they can do, like if you changed from one insurance company to another insurance company and on those documents you didn't list everything that you've ever had wrong with you, they could then claim that if they found something that you didn't report, either because you forgot or whatever.
Had a rash?
They could then use that legal loophole of a pre-existing condition you didn't report to deny coverage. And that was a practice that many insurance companies did when they had to make big payouts.
Because you're a risky investment.
Mm-hmm. And many times, let me tell you something. You'd be lying if race didn't come into it on the part of these people.
Yeah, definitely.
Because some doctor in an insurance company's cubicle somewhere somehow has greater medical authority over the doctor that actually physically saw that patient.
I know. Well, there's and
here's the other thing. I don't get why Republicans love insurance companies so much.
Yeah.
Who's worse than... insurance companies, they're pretty bad. Used car salesmen, they're pretty...
Because they're taught, do you know how, most people would say, oh, the insurance company is, the worst part of the deal. It's the worst part of that whole exchange. They're like, the government's the worst!
Yeah, but...
And then they're like, okay, if the government's bad, then I guess they should...
Yeah, what's funny is, I don't want the government deciding about my health, but you'll let some fucking corporatist bullshit bottom line asshole... Yeah. Make that decision for you.
Oh, okay. No. Oh, yeah. You totally got your You totally got your priorities set, don't you?
Oh my God. So anyway, useless Rodney was one of these motherfucks who did. And when anyone who said they weren't and then voted for this bill,
The scum.
yeah, and the big like bullshit argument that they're trying to tell you is that, well, this bill is going to get to the Senate and it won't be the same. Okay. First of all, that's a gamble. That's what they call a risk, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. As far as you're concerned, the bill that you passed is law.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you voted for something you didn't believe in.
Yeah.
Or you did something, you gambled. But the problem is what you're gambling with is the health care of your constituents.
Yeah.
What that means is you're playing loose with people's lives,
Yeah.
you stupid fucks.
And I think they'll probably realize that.
And this is, I tell you, that night I was pissed. I mean, you want to talk about reactionary decisions? I was so angry, I was ready to run. And if I could have gotten in easy, like if I could have slid in somehow, I would have.
I would have backed you, too.
It's just,
honestly.
Now that I saw, like, if I want to be a Democrat, you gotta go, it's like,
It's
2020.
It would have been better to start 2020.
Yeah, so I admit, I was total reactionary. It was a total reactionary. And now that I see the realities of actually getting in.
It's so complicated. I think they do on purpose.
Totally do. So that you can't do that. So that you can't go, fuck them, I'm running.
Fuck.
Yeah. You have to be really pissed off, is what they're saying.
Or else
you have to be so pissed off, you got to wait around for 2 years.
If it were easy, half the people would be running, and there would be half voting,
but
half
this is
running.
supposed to be the office that you do that with.
Yeah.
You are essentially, this... The position of a congressman was really thought of as a town advocate, a civic duty. A rich guy or someone who could afford it can, give 2 years of service to the public by representing his community.
Yeah.
That's how it was thought.
Yeah.
So you're bringing your town issues to the greater party, and seeing if you can work shit out. You're the lower house.
The problem is that's become so like
a career.
Yeah.
It's become a career.
Yeah.
Well, first thing it's easy to fix that with fucking term limits. Boom. And I think originally I thought the best way to handle that was one term limit.
It's possible.
And you make a 3-term limit on Senate?
Because that would make sense because once they're in office, they don't have to worry about re-election again.
Yeah, but but then there's the problem of committees.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, so I would say give it 2 terms.
Okay.
Give it 2 terms for everything, because that keeps everything in. Because part of the way the framers set the rotations of the elections, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
And so there's overlap and crossover. So you want to keep that in a 2-term structure. The only way you do it is you have to keep all of them the same, or you make it 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Either way, it's rotational.
Plus, it's great if you're a Senate and you have a 3-year term. I mean, that's great. That's fucking what?
Which one's
That's 18 years as a senator.
Yeah, 6. Jeez.
Yeah, dude, that's why all of the framers saw themselves as senators. They didn't want the fucking they wanted that. The Senate's the shit.
You're good for 6 years.
The Senate is the shit.
Yeah, shit that way too.
You're treated like a president, but you don't get all the hassle.
You're treated as a president of your state.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say even a senator is more powerful than the governor, honestly, in terms of national power, not in terms of.
He's got the presidency.
Yeah.
Yes, but governor's not a bad job, I'm sure.
Yeah, at least you can control everything, or not control everything, but there's checks and balances. But
What are you, Trump now?
Yeah, but
I'm gonna grab him by the pussy and I'm gonna shake him until they don't let go. I'm so mad at the Hindenburg. George Washington was very angry at that situation with the Hindenburg that he was going to attack New Jersey.
I remember when Andrew Jackson condemned the Germans attacking the SS Lusitania, or RMS Lusitania.
Yes, I remember that as well. That was a great time. That was right after the Nazis bombed Pearl Harbor.
The Nazis bombed
Pearl Harbor.
The Nazis, those Germans.
See, that's a subtle one. That's when you wonder if I was wrong, if I fucked that up on purpose, but I did. I could have said the Russians. It was horrible when the Russians.
It was just enough of a fuck. I'd be like, what? Did he mean that?
And when we dropped the A-bomb on Switzerland.
Poor Switzerland. The only ones who weren't in the war.
They were neutral. That's what serves them right.
Fucking join aside, pussies.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to grab you by the pussy until you join aside.
Like a little hole in Europe.
Because you're a little bitch.
You're like the little hole in Europe.
You're a little donut hole. I'm going to fuck you in the donut hole of Europe because I hate Europe too. I'm Russia's bitch. And let's just say, I'm very happy for both Stephen Colbert and now Bill Maher for humor backlash.
Yeah, yay.
Yes.
It's almost like...
And hey, fuck the FCC. Fuck them in the ass.
That's stupid. Apparently comedy has to be restricted.
Well, there you go. It's another It's another thing that shows Trump's true authoritarian colors.
Look.
He can't handle criticism of any kind. He's a fucking pussy.
Look, if Larry the Cable Guy can say stupid ass shit, then they can say stupid ass shit. I mean,
it's the First Amendment,
yeah, exactly.
Dude. Have fun picking your way through that one. Mm-hmm. And it may be politics, and you may fucking give shit to CBS.
Ooh, it's politics.
But here's what I will say. Right now, Colbert's ratings are through the roof. I don't know how fast they're going to be getting rid of him. And Trump's presidency... His fucking numbers, his approval ratings are so shit. He doesn't have any approval.
If you see some of the arguments on Twitter, at the end of the day, it's just they're saying something I don't like.
Exactly. They're saying something I don't like, which is what most people's complaints about Twitter are. That's what most people's complaints about Twitter are.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
He's saying things I don't like.
Oh no, block him.
Ooh, speaking of things we don't like. It was very interesting. We decided to take an Uber home from the movie, and the guy was a Trump supporter.
I put my headphones.
I know on. It got awkward and you got weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I
was jabbing at I was definitely picking at the guy. Yeah. I was picking at his ignorance because
I was like, I'm saving it for.
And there was a reason why. Like many people who are conservatives, they cop this attitude. Like anyone who's not is a child and doesn't know anything.
I've noticed that.
Oh, and I guarantee you, I know far more about this Trump-Russia thing
we both take an IQ
than this
test.
fucking moron knew in passing.
Let's both take an IQ test and see who has the higher score.
It doesn't even mean... It's not even an IQ. It's knowing the issue. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure this guy is a passive Fox idiot.
Yeah.
You know, just...
Well,
a sports idiot.
The voting fraud kind
I believe it's a team thing.
The voter fraud was like, okay.
Yeah, as soon as he brought up voter fraud, I'm like, there is no voter fraud. But there was hacking. And he did not like... And I did it just to rip his argument out before he even got started. Because it started out of a joke. I don't remember what the joke was. Something about it.
It was the technology thing, and you're like, or shitty president.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about... That's right. We were talking about... It started with the cars, driverless cars.
And when you explained it to me, I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
Well, it does, because what will happen?
Like that was a long time
ago.
The
cars will get more intelligent over time. Yeah. They will. There's been big articles on this.
Yeah,
and eventually, even you said it. You brought me the article that said something like, eventually, people will not be allowed to drive.
It'll be illegal.
It'll be too dangerous because it's true. You won't be able to process.
Fuck up everything else.
Yeah, you won't be able to process all the things going on. Yeah. You won't be connected into Bluetooth to tell that 6 cars up hit the brakes at that very second. So you should start to adjust.
Don't worry, I'm smart enough.
Exactly. You won't be able to do it. And then I'm not even the one who said this, so I borrowed the line. I don't remember where I heard it. So I pulled that line, and that shut him up. He was like, "I'm like, would you get onto an airplane if someone told you that the autopilot was broken?" Because realize things have changed. You know, like it's all perspective. If computers had been invented before the internal combustion engine, you would think nothing of cars driving.
Yeah.
Because that's just. Please don't do that. It's a horrible noise for everybody.
Sorry.
Just drop it. Drop it. You won't let it go until you drop it. You keep doing it.
I had to finish. It was
exactly. That's why I'm like, you have to drop it because you're going to keep making the noise. Yeah, so we got in the driverless. But I could instantly tell. Now, this guy was about my age. But, again, it's on my age is my age group is the cusp. I don't know what it is.
They're like split.
Yeah, it's like half of them are like my parents, 20th century thinking.
I think it's pretty much how you're brought up.
Kind of afraid.
It's correlation to how you're brought up.
Yeah, afraid of technology. which is so stupid because do you think technology is going away? That's like the assumption.
Let's be Amish.
Yeah, it's like in these people's minds, like the people that hate social media. Like yesterday, my friend Joe.
Oh, social media is so good.
Joe Decker was out there. He's a buddy of mine, but he put something on.
Yeah.
He tweeted something out about how life out, away from Facebook is so much better.
No.
Well, first of all, regardless,
Doesn't really
you're
matter.
posting that on Facebook.
How would you get that idea?
And Joe posts a lot of stuff on Facebook, so it's obvious he likes it. So when that is the classic example of this self-loathing social media people. They love it, but they don't want to admit it, it's this love-hate with it.
Do you know, like, the people, like who are like, oh, the internet's such a bad thing?
Yeah, they're the people who sound like, I don't have a TV.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
what is this newfangled phone? Who needs that?
Oh, so you're causing, like...
Have you heard of this new thing, the automobile?
You're making your life...
Apparently, it gets you there much quicker.
So you're making your life harder for spite? Yes. What are you doing?
Ooh, who wants to take one of those aeroplanes?
It's sort of like a hipster attitude, but like not.
Yeah, it's like quasi hippie. It is what it is stupid, and what it is also self-loathing because you're not fooling anyone while you're on your phone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going away. Technology is not going away, and guess what? Technology is a tool. So you people complaining about it. It's all how
that's
you
why,
use
like,
it.
that's why, like, the argument, like, the millennials are lazy thing kind of annoys me.
Oh, me too.
Because it's like, okay, if you were born with this technology, you'd be using the shit out of it.
You know what's so funny about these cocksuckers who were saying that?
Yeah.
They were fucking all grooving in the mud at Woodstock, avoiding going to a war.
Shitting in a hole.
Fucking each other to avoid, while the other half of their generation had been conscripted.
Yeah.
Blacks, poor people that couldn't get into college. Yeah. We're fighting and dying for corporate heroin and all kinds of other shit. The fucking black tar stuff, Cambodia, the Golden Triangle.
Bomb killing.
That's what's all in there. That's
PTSD shit.
What else you got in there? That's the most valuable product. That's the Golden Triangle in there. So, I ask you, why were they fighting Vietnam? Heroin.
The best.
Yeah.
The best. Was the heroin in Cambodia?
Cambodia? Yeah, Laos.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's why they call it the Golden Triangle.
And then the war on drugs.
Well, they did the same thing during the 80s.
Yeah. With the
Iran-Contra.
Yeah, we just learned about that.
Dude, you know what's so funny, too? Like, you peel that back, that is a scandal worse than Watergate.
Yeah.
And only because of the president's sheer power, personality.
The reason why it didn't become like that is I think is people were like, I don't want that to happen again.
And sheer power, personality.
I don't want
Reagan
Nixon.
sort of, people were burnt out. Yeah. A lot of that shit. Exactly. It was fucking.
They were embarrassed already, and
it was Watergate like fatigue.
Well, yeah, people were like, I don't want that again, and some people were like dumb enough to think Reagan's like the guy who will bring America back and make us great. You know, he was kind of like the Trump.
Jeez, all we have to do is keep getting other Republican presidents to realize that the one we had like before that wasn't that bad. I mean, Bush is looking better every day. Not great.
It's sad.
And Reagan looks damn near spotless at this point, and I fucking hated that guy.
He was sort of liberal
at the time.
and compared to like some of these dudes.
Fucking Nixon's looking fucking liberal. He's one of the ones who started healthcare.
Yeah, he proposed
and
EPA.
Yeah.
He started.
My God. That's what I see. What a point. And then you go back even before him. You have fucking Eisenhower.
Who started the highways.
And you got Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, he was like the most liberal dude.
I know, because he was young.
Yeah, well, that was before the Republicans got like very like.
And he was also like rich people used to be anti-corporation because also it was competition for them.
Yeah, it's like let's fuck over these other guys so we can get them.
It's like we're a moneyed family.
But then they realized that like you can do like what cable companies can do.
You can keep yourself in business a really long time.
You can use competition, or you can like what cable companies doing like TV and shit, they split up. Like you can have this half, you can have this, and we'll make all the money we can.
Split off subsidiaries and call that a small business, even though you're actually owned by a large business.
Yeah, exactly. You can.
So that you can get all those small business benefits as well and write them off.
You can call it competition, even though you're competing with your own company.
Yep. All kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Pull corporate charters. I said it last week. I'll say it again. But we're getting way off track.
Yeah, that's why.
So then we finally stumbled into Trump with this guy, or I said, when he said something. Well, what are you going to do about computer hacking? I said, well, computer hacking is going to happen.
Yeah,
it happens now.
It happens
things are going to break.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get an idiot president.
Well, I think,
and you could tell he took offense to that. It was like kaboom, direct hit.
That's when I put and
he couldn't really retort. He was more because you can't defend that Trump is not an idiot.
Yeah, even some of his supporters are like,
it's so funny.
He's dumb.
There was that. What they were trying to do was crazy as a fox.
Yeah.
No, he's crazy as a shithouse rat.
Yeah.
And stupid as fuck.
They try to make like
he's
psychotics are good for president.
Everybody gets it too, because like Bill Maher, he was talking about that thing. He's like, the president thinks he's Andrew Jackson, and by that I mean Steve Bannon told him about Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, a lot of people were comparing him to Andrew Jackson, like during like the.
Well, I get that because here the reason
he is. Whether you take it good or not,
it was unconventional.
Yeah.
And it was populist, and that's what Andrew Jackson did.
Populist.
Yeah, he used that kind of and that's why like. Notoriously, Andrew Jackson, like they actually had a party in the White with like
with all his like douchebag friends,
and even douchebag friends, just people. Mm-hmm. People were really showing up and stealing shit out of the White House.
He was the Trump of his era.
Yep.
Except he wasn't. He was kind of a poor dude. So Trump was not. Wasn't he like? Oh no, he was a slave owner. So never mind.
Oh, with Samuel Jackson, he was driven.
Andrew Jackson.
He was driven. Andrew Jackson was driven,
yeah.
And he was driven by resentment.
Yeah.
Big time. Because during the election, there were politicians that said shit about his wife who then passed.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, don't do that.
He was not at all.
You make him sound.
He took no prisoners.
You
make
him sound better.
No, well, yes, he was. He wasn't dumb or stupid.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. He was quiet and calculated. There is a difference.
He did like the Calhoun thing where Calhoun was like all states' rights when he was in, I think, North Carolina. Was it North? And then he was like, then
as soon as he became and that's
then
what
Jackson,
they all do.
And then he literally put the Navy right next to the state, and he's like,
Federalist.
What do you want to do? You want to say that again?
Yeah.
He pretty much prevented the Civil War.
And he became a Federalist.
Yeah. I like how you're a Federalist once you become a president.
You know what? That should be expected of everyone.
Yeah.
Because once you get into office, then they say, someone comes down and sits down and tells you what the fuck is really going on.
Yeah.
And it's quite scary.
Federalism is good as long as you do it for the good.
True.
If you don't, then it's bad.
Again, the reason rich people hate the government and want to destroy it is because it's the only thing that defends poor people against them.
Yeah, it's just, and then what they try to do is like, okay, we can't destroy it, so we'll just take over it.
They want to weaken
from the inside.
They want to weaken.
They either want to weaken it or just make it part of like.
There has been no greater example of this than this administration. Again, remember, Steve Bannon, still there, just now lurking in the shadows.
Just like
he's
in the corner.
They want you to forget him. Seriously,
yeah.
That's what Trump wants. Trump wants you to forget that Bannon's there,
so that
so that when he talks Bannon's bullshit, he can get credit for it.
Yeah,
because he didn't. He doesn't
mind
mind Steve
Bannon. Is there any official
Bannon.
Position he's in still, or is it like he's just
advisor
there?
To the president?
That's not really.
That's what everyone is.
That's not.
That's what his family is.
It's not official,
folks. Let me suggest you go out and buy the book that I'm like halfway through, and which is The Case for Impeachment.
I saw you were reading it on Audible.
Yeah, The Case for listening to it, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm not afraid to say that I'm reading, listening, or whatever.
You told me the story of the tribe. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yes, join the tribe.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Join the tribe that does not read off books.
Yes, the readers.
We listen.
Yes. But you know what? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about this.
I would say it's probably better. But
Well, you know why?
It's just someone talking to you.
You know why it's so easy to do?
You can multitask.
It's primal.
Yeah.
It's what we've done.
Yeah.
We talked to each other and told stories long before we wrote.
I was trying to read Game of Thrones, and I was like, I can't read this for more than 2 chapters.
It's very dry.
But, like, I can listen to it easily.
It's even hard to... it took me, I want to say, 3 stabs.
But when I read it, it's like... not even, like, because it's dry, but because it's, like... Maybe it's part because I watched the show already.
And here's the... Well, yes. You have context.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I know this stuff. I want to get to stuff I haven't watched.
That's why there's a difference between someone who's reading Dune for the first time when there's no movie, before there was a movie, and someone who reads it after, you know, with seeing the movie, because then you have all that because the first time you read Dune, it's very interesting because there's so many fucking words and and phrase. You know, no, seriously. I mean, you know, Sardaukar and it's another thing like in Lord of the Rings where characters have several names. You know, Paul Atreides, Muad'Dib.
Yeah.
He also has another name which sounds like Muad'Dib. I want to say it's Maud. You know,
like all this like fantasy shit.
Yeah, it was one is the mouse that runs in the sand and steals, and the other is the moon's shadow. And
I haven't got to the Dothraki part, but I have a feeling. It's
the Dothrak.
The Dothraki. And I feel like that's how it's gonna be. It's like a bunch of like crazy like names and shit.
No, I don't pretty much like. I gotta say that the first season of the show is probably a very good interpretation of the book.
Yeah,
it's a Reader's Digest version.
Yeah. Like I was saying, the beginning when the king comes over. Like, there's so much more characters in the book. Like, the queen, like the girl who goes to the Dorne and shit. Like, it's like, oh my fucking God.
Like I say, the first time I read that book, like, if you remember on the show, there's those 3 guys that die, like, in 10 minutes of the show. But, you know, when you're reading a chapter, it doesn't feel like 10 minutes. It feels like a lot longer. And you really feel like, hey, okay, so we're establishing characters here. One of these guys has to be our hero.
Yeah.
And by the end of the scene, they're all dead.
No.
Or one of them's, 2 of them are dead, and one is caught by, you know.
In fact, the only guy who actually becomes a hero at the end is the guy who's isolated in the castle in North, who can't do any shit other than go and kill zombies.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, by the way,
it takes you like 7 books.
John's kind of a bitch in the beginning. It's really annoying.
He is kind of a bitch, isn't he?
He's a whiny little bitch in the beginning. He's like,
but not.
That's how I got it.
Not truly a whiny.
Yeah, but he's kind of like, he feels kind of like.
Well, because he's a bastard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the half son.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks?
It does.
Because the wife treats him like shit.
Oh, it's so
sad.
sad.
Ironically, it's her fucking.
Yeah, it's her
it's
sister's
her nephew.
It's her sister's mom.
It's her
or
fucking
son.
nephew.
Yeah. Which is
technically.
Like if someone told.
And why the fuck didn't he tell her?
Yeah.
Why didn't he tell Catelyn? That's what I want to know.
I would. Yeah. Maybe he has dark secrets.
Well, that's the dark secret, because I guess he felt that if that got out, that's the thing that nobody can know.
Yeah, and
just like
what would
his battle, his duel. Remember the duel? That's the other secret.
When the greatest swordsman didn't.
He didn't win it.
He didn't beat the greatest swordsman who ever lived.
Nah, someone stepped in and stabbed him in the back,
which is not honorable.
Fuck that. That's
yeah. I agree with that.
Bullshit.
I would be like, okay, cool, thanks.
Bullshit.
Thanks for killing
I just
him.
wouldn't claim the kill.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't claim that I beat him single-handedly.
Yeah.
I would say
as long as
the 2 of us beat him.
I think the honorable thing is him not saying that was another guy. That wasn't me. I would have said that wasn't me. But the honorable, like, that's not an honorable. I'm like, fuck it. If he killed him, he killed him. I don't give a shit as long as I don't claim it. Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
The other guy landed the killing blow.
He stabbed him.
But how about this? You could say, only because he was distracted.
I survived. Yeah.
Yeah, only because the other guy survived long enough to distract. Whatever. Someone killing someone in the back, stabbing someone in the throat before they were going to stab your ally. That is not. There's nothing dishonorable about that at all.
Especially if it's like, I mean, come on.
He's dead.
Yeah. Who survived? The winner survived.
War. If 2 people are going to kill each other, it doesn't matter. There's no like right and wrong way
Game
to
of
do
Thrones.
it.
This is Game of Thrones. Come on.
And even worse, it's war.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Either
war when you couldn't do it from 30 yards.
Either win or die.
You had to look your enemy in the eye as you hurt them.
Yeah. But like, What were you going back to?
I don't have any
God, we
idea.
just
This
had
is the
a-
most fucked up episode ever.
It's fun. I like talking about this.
It's political backlash episode.
Well, Game of Thrones is starting to.
So anyway, the
strangely-
guy in the fucking.
Yeah.
I blew his head off. Then I said, I'm gonna really bother this guy, and I'm gonna tell him something that really pisses off Trump supporters. I say, I know they haven't told, and I know they keep backpedaling, but you're gonna find out this election wasn't only, hacked via robots and propaganda, and this election was hacked, physically hacked. Boxes were cracked open and votes were changed. You're not going to find that out until a long time later, because it's a very scary fact to release. It's the one that will send people
If it
crazy,
were to be
or they
released,
believe that will
Would
send
it be
people.
like a JFK thing?
Yeah, or they feel like, if I was in the institution, I would feel like if we tell them this, then they lose all faith in every election we've ever had.
Yeah.
So
would you just release it?
they sort of go very they say, oh yes, it was hacked by the Russians, but we don't know that they backpedal this game. But the truth is, you can almost feel it when something is that much of a rigmarole. It's fake. They always when they say it, it's almost like a sneeze reaction that they have to follow it up with this. But Trump won this justification.
He has the mandate.
Yeah, well, not the mandate, but that he won fair and square.
Yeah.
But they just told us the sentence before that that it was fucking hacked. You can't have it both ways. The election can't be hacked and legitimate. Now, I really do believe it was physically hacked. There's enough evidence out there. I hate everyone go, oh, what are your evidence? Listen, the first bit of evidence in any country would be that all the polls were wrong. Any other country but America, that would cause the hugest of red flags. They'd be like, what, all the polls were wrong? Wait a minute, what's wrong here? And the next thing is like somewhere around 8 o'clock, 7 or 8 o'clock that night, it just seemed like this was win by Cron Job. Anyone who knows anything about programming knows what I'm talking about. A cron job is a job set up in advance on a chronological time scale so it goes off on time. This was win by cron job. Fucking 7 or 8 o'clock, those jobs kicked off, changing the tally of those elections. That is what I suggest, propose, and hey, if you don't believe that, that's fine. But here's my challenge to you. Prove me wrong. Because you can't. Because it hasn't been investigated thoroughly enough. There is no evidence to suggest. And there's more evidence to suggest that what I suggest is correct.
Let's get rid of the Electoral College.
And use Occam's razor.
Let's get rid of the Electoral College.
Yeah, no shit. Because this was death by Electoral College.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think the only thing that saved the French election today
was their system.
Was the fact.
The popular vote.
Yeah, and also the fact that they were hip to the game now. Because it just happened to us.
Well, I feel like in a situation of a hack or something, if...
Just like Sweden. What did Sweden do? Or whatever it was, Finland or whatever.
Yeah.
They went to a paper ballot.
Yeah.
And notice, their racist lost big time. What that leads me to believe is this supposed 30% majority in this country is also bogus bullshit. It's probably closer to about 9. And again, fluff statistics. If you're getting data out of the computer, at this point, because of the Russians' model of attack, everything should be suspect.
So what you could do is you can just they would have like a ballot box. You have a piece of paper. You put your name on what candidate. You check them off and you put them in the box.
Yes. No. That's what Sweden
and no one
Finland
can
did.
No one can open it.
What can happen? I mean, obviously, then
you can like throw a lighter in.
There's all kinds of shit. You can do what's traditionally called ballot stuffing.
Yeah.
That they had reports of that going on in Turkey.
Well, that's there
are reports of that going.
Yeah,
and in Putin's fucking election that he won, the one that Clinton that scolded him on, that set this whole thing in motion.
So pretty much any authoritarian usually uses that tactic.
No shit. Yes.
But
Sweden or Finland or I'm sorry, one of these North countries used it to their advantage. Because if they had code and shit all in their voting systems, they were like, we can't trust any of this. We're going to go to a hand count system. That way, we know for sure.
Imagine.
We could do that here.
I just thought
it's not that hard.
When you said
we
that,
did it for millions and we did it for hundreds of years. Millions. We did it for hundreds of years beforehand.
We've been around for millions of years.
Yeah, okay, I got crazy. I got Trumpy there. I exaggerated.
But when you said like they solved that problem, my first thought was they allowed everyone to ballot stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Go everyone as fast as you can.
Oh, they allowed no one to. That's the point.
I know.
But that's all that electronic is. It's electronic ballot stuffing. There's no such thing as fucking electoral fraud. That's a right-wing bullshit conspiracy to take away votes from poor people.
See, I feel like if you have an election with popular vote, it would be like, I don't know if it would be, even if they did hack it.
I got a great idea.
If they did a hack it would be so obvious because there would be 3 million people who didn't exist who voted.
It's very simple. We have a good people party and a bad people party. I hate to put it so bluntly, but that's really what it is. The bad people party is the Republican Party because look at their base fucking values. They proved it over the weekend. Their base value is fuck you if you're poor and fuck you if you can't afford health care.
It's funny.
That should motivate you.
There's like
we don't care about
It's sad because like
I don't want to pay for a black person's health care.
There's like polls on single payer and they found out that more Republicans agree with it than don't. And
of course.
And the thing is they just say they're Republican just because they're like, okay, well, I'm Republican. What? So
I bet you they were all white.
And then they go issue by issue, and they realize you're actually a liberal.
That's the other. The other thing that happens is white people are so fucking ignorant nowadays. They just assume they're supposed to be Republican. Yeah. They don't even understand what it means. And
it's
the
just
other
a label.
thing is,
it's just a label.
And it was made by Fox News, a very specific brand. Republicanism is so synonymous with assholism.
Yeah.
Think about it. I can think of it when I want to be when I act like
these days, yes.
If I want to act and pretend I want to act like a Republican, even as in jest, I just act like the biggest asshole I can think of, and bingo, I'm there.
Would you say that would be conservative or just Republican?
Either.
Yeah.
They're same animal.
Yeah.
Same animal. Don't.
So
they all bullshit themselves.
Yeah.
That's they all. Oh, I'm not a Republican like
I'm
Steve Bannon and that shit.
I'm an independent.
Again, I go back to what does that fucking fat fuck have to be so angry about?
Yeah.
America seems to have been pretty good to that fat piece of shit.
Favors.
Let him go fucking burn up a bathtub, this scumbag.
So. Are we done?
I'm getting angry! Ah!
Oh, you should.
I get pissed, goddammit! I get pissed!
You should have released all that anger beforehand.
No. I'm getting there now. You're getting me frothed up. You see, what stinks is, I know I had points when I started out. There's stuff I want to cover.
Well, then you
poke and provoke me.
I'm a poker.
Provoke.
I'm a provoking poker.
Yes.
Is that my motto? I'm the provoking poker?
I suppose so.
That's what I do.
That reminds me of
That's what I do. It's my
Monty Python song. That's what I do. That's my thing. Railing. A railing. That's all I want is a railing.
I started watching Faulty Towers.
Very funny show.
Yeah. The first episode.
Very.
British shows are so weird.
And very physical.
Yeah. Like I was starting first.
You know what's weird is like when they shoot inside, they shoot video. When they shoot outside, they shoot film.
Yeah. I was like, okay, but the first episode was like, okay, this is kind of funny. But then I started getting into it. I'm like, okay, this is
the genius of that show is Manuel.
Yeah.
Who's not Spanish.
I fucking love it. It's funny.
Yeah, the genius of that show. And also the fact that he's always getting in like these weird. It's sort of like Through His Company, and they're like very sexual in nature. He's always getting himself in trouble, but not.
Yeah.
They're misunderstandings.
It's weird. British shows are weird because I realize like there's like so many sitcom British shows that are like 2 seasons, 8 episodes in length. I'm like, is that how the British do it? That's amazing.
And their series.
They don't just like keep making shows like the fucking.
So that series was, it's done. A story has an end.
That's funny. It seems like
look at Sherlock. It's just 2 or 3 movies a season.
That's so weird to me because in America it's like it never ends.
Well,
it's in a state of the middle of like a movie.
So they could sell sugar water to your teens.
Yeah, exactly. Like that 70. I mean, that 70 show is actually pretty funny. But like that's a bad example. I don't know. What's a shitty show?
I Dream of Jeannie. Anything from the 60s. It's all shit.
Yeah, that
Green Acres, Petticoat Junction.
But there's always been like
Gilligan's Island.
Except Gilligan's Island. I can't stand Gilligan's Island.
Those poor people.
Ugh, Gilligan's Island.
Do you remember in Galaxy Quest?
Yes.
Those poor people. Anyway. They were kind of like Drax. They took everything literally.
Yeah. Fucking Drax.
Nothing goes above my head. I am too fast. I would catch it.
What was the humble joke?
He was basically doing a humble brag. He was literally doing a humble brag. He was
he's so humble.
He observed that someone was
because
humble.
I am humble too.
He's like, yes.
I fucking love that.
I'm basking in my humility. I can't remember the line either. The best line was, I am Mary Poppins. I am Mary Poppins.
Is Mary Poppins badass? Is Mary Poppins badass?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am
Mary Poppins.
This fucking arrow.
That was amazing. See, that's what I loved about. There's so much humor in there.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's his name? Gunn. The director, James Gunn.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant.
He's the guy who made Scoby Doo.
Yeah, he's also, he's from Troma.
Really?
Yeah, New Jersey's original hometown movie company, Troma Films, home of the Toxic Avenger and Troma High, or
hometown boy here.
All these terrible toxic, really bad exploitation movies from the 90s.
Well, I guess he grew up.
Toxic Avenger though is worth watching. The first one. It's very exploitative.
I don't know if it sounds like
it's a stupid super. I mean, it's really it's the classic superhero movie of like a nerd who gets exposed to toxic waste and becomes the Toxic Avenger.
Sounds like Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's ripping guys' arms off.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Actually, you changed my mind off that one sentence.
He rips a guy's like this gang. He attacks him in a pizzeria, rips this guy's arm off, and then stuffs him in the pizza oven.
Oh, that's why. That's why it's in the pizzeria. So just to have that.
And because he was a mop boy, his sign is.
It sounds very violent.
It is. It's like gore meets superhero, and the superhero is himself messed up, looks like a monster.
Sounds like
and he leaves mops as the sign.
That sounds more like mops.
Yes, because he was a mop boy when he was a skinny little mop. So he leaves mops at the scene of all
like
his.
A serial killer.
Well, he is kind of.
A serial.
He's New Jersey's first superhero.
Yeah.
According to the movie poster.
Represent.
The Toxic Avenger, or Toxie, to people like.
You can argue that's Batman, but
yeah, well, only
in a reality, in like a different, like alternate reality kind of shit. Well,
listen, I have a major problem with Gotham being across the river from Metropolis.
Yeah,
that was way too stupid.
Batman versus Superman.
I always saw I mean, really, they were both amalgams of New York.
If they were that close, why don't you just make it one city?
They were both amalgams of New York.
Yeah,
but the problem is. Like they couldn't, for some reason, they couldn't be.
Yeah, they couldn't be in the same.
So if you're gonna, because
Superman's attacking, but why not Batman doing the same thing?
So if you're gonna give Superman a colorful city, why not give him L.A.?
Yeah,
give him West Coast.
That'll be cool.
Makes sense.
That'll be cool though.
Yeah.
Because
is there
a superhero in L.A.?
So say Metropolis is L.A.
Yeah.
And fucking Gotham is New York.
They're just doing their own shit on East Coast.
Yeah, and it makes sense too because then they'd be far away from each other when
they'll be far away. And Flash is like in the Midwest, right? Flash.
Yeah, and yes, Center City.
Yeah.
So you could put that Chicago or fucking St. Louis or
in the Midway.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh,
Chicago would be good.
They're just doing their own thing.
Chicago would be good.
The
Center City.
The difference between DC and Marvel is like it seems like in DC, like they seem more spread out. Well, and Marvel's like, oh, we have all heroes in one city.
Well, Marvel was like, well, we're not going to fuck around with. We're not going to pretend the city. We're going to put them in New York.
Well, I'll put them in New York
because I know where the fuck. Because
I know
shit
show.
Well, that's because they were all New York Jews drawing that stuff. They all knew where fucking the Bowery was. They all knew where They were all like, hey, I'll draw my home.
It's like, holy fuck.
Hey, I get to put my address in the comic. Shit like that.
Holy shit, why are the Avengers protecting New York and like that kind of shit? It's like
There's
amazing.
nothing funnier than who was it? what's his name? When watching Iron Fist, hey, look, his boyhood home is right there on Irving, right across the street from Irving Plaza.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, a lot of shows across the street from his house.
What a coincidence! Wow. You would think there would be just one road with all the fucking superheroes just living there, and then they see all their secret identities. Like, hey there! He doesn't know I'm Spider-Man.
Did you see the Defenders premiere?
No.
Promo? You should see it.
My Balin told me to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. Miss Weaver's in it.
Is it all of them are in it?
Yeah.
Is Rosario Dawson going to be in it and shit like that?
I believe so, yeah.
Super. That would make sense if she was.
Yeah, because she's one of the...
She's the Link.
She's one of the links.
She's the Link.
Yes.
Is she like...
Yes, and apparently one thing they do show is like, what's her name? Jessica Jones is like obviously arrested.
Mm-hmm. Even though she's a cop?
Well, she's a private investigator.
Yeah.
She's a private investigator.
Yeah,
and then in walks Matt Murdock, who's like, don't say anything. I'm your lawyer.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Oh,
she's like, who are you?
The best.
Don't say anything to him. I'm your lawyer.
He's the best lawyer ever. Is he like? Is he
Actually, Foggy's probably the best lawyer ever. Yeah. The only reason why he's such a great lawyer is because he's able to do that. Listen to people's heartbeat to tell if they're lying or not. And then if he suspects that they're lying, he can push.
I would think that's flawed because you can just be under pressure too. That doesn't mean you're lying.
Agreed.
Like, that's what the problem with the heart detector test.
Well, with
sociopaths can get away with that.
Yeah. Well, any lie detector test. Yes. If the person themselves
just detects
can either
stress.
A, put themselves into a meditative state to defeat,
which is what sociopaths can do.
That will defeat. No, they don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't even have to, because they don't really feel emotion.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't feel emotion. Lying to them is no different than the truth.
Telling the truth. Yeah. It's just
look
them.
At Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Do you think he could get through his lie detector test?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. He's a serial fucking liar.
I think he might become a self-made sociopath.
No, he's a sociopath.
You think he's a sociopath?
Yeah, and well, whether they make themselves or not, like at a certain point, the problem with Donald Trump is
no difference between
Donald Trump. Well, they believe their own lies too, since both lies and truth.
Well, they have to,
because both lies and truth have no value
as long as it gains them.
And you can watch it happen to them. You know, you can almost see them suddenly, like now they believe it.
Yeah.
They actually believe
like they have a
that
switch
lie.
In there. Like,
yeah, you can see it. Oh, it became very evident to me when he was talking about the people in
Australia.
Jersey City who were celebrating the towers fall. That just plain and simple.
Don't you mean
that did not exist?
Don't you mean
it never happened? But he has conjured up a picture in his brain.
He might be getting confused with the people in Saudi Arabia.
It exists. So what? He said Jersey City. He knew what he was talking about.
Oh, yeah, it does. Same thing. Saudi Arabia, Jersey City, same thing.
Yeah, and meanwhile, one of his political...
You haven't heard of Jersey City, Saudi Arabia?
One of his political ads about the wall that showed brown people breaking over the border, and he's like, Donald Trump will set up a board on a wall on the southern border. The one thing was that footage was from Turkey.
Really?
Yeah. So, talk about misleading.
No, they're all the same.
They're brown people. Yeah. Turkey, Spanish, Latin,
they're all
Mexican.
Muslim extremist terrorists.
Muslim eco-terrorists. They're all out to get me.
That's what all of them are.
They're all Muslims, eco-terrorists.
You know those Mexican Muslim terrorists?
Eco-terrorists. They're eco. They're all about the economy?
Do you think that's...
No. It's the environment, you dummy.
Yeah, do you think that's like he thinks somehow like Mexicans and Muslims are like the kind of like linked in some way just because their skin color?
I do think that
he's like that dumb.
I think because of his father, he has he's a bigot. He's a bigot. Bigot's the best word because he's one of those guys who's racist and is oblivious to his own racism.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't think he's racist
which might be,
because his daughter's Jewish
which
or
might
some
be
shit.
The worst kind.
Yeah. And it's the new kind.
Yeah.
It's this, you blame it on every other thing but the race.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's the race.
Yeah.
It's
along with other things, but mainly it could be the race.
Yeah, it's like we've entered an age of neo-racism, it's like the snake is eating its own tail. It's crazy. All right, well, we should wrap this up because we've been going for like an hour now.
That was a good show.
54 minutes and 11 seconds.
54 minutes, wow.
Yeah, I remember originally saying we're going to make this like 20 minutes. And it's always me talking.
We can cut it up
much.
in 3 minutes and cut up in 3 parts.
Yes. All right. Well, we're going to be back on Tuesday, but then we're just going to do Tuesdays from then on.
And then we have a packed ton of stuff to do each show.
And the reason why is because so we can do some of the things we talk about doing, like change the intro more often and get more sound bites loaded up.
And we have more shit to put on the show.
And organize the show better, yeah. Because I can't tell you how many times I feel like I'm organizing, but then the show happens, and I'm like, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one Tuesdays will be best.
Yeah.
I know I also have doctor's appointments and shit on that day, but we'll figure it out.
I try to get doctor appointments on weekends. So.
Yeah. And once a week, better than... I just feel it'll be smoother. You'll get a better show.
Yeah.
So
probably. Shows like this one and stuff.
Yes. And remember, fuck this guy Freelandhausen here.
Oh, yeah.
OC.
Oh, yeah. That felt like a year ago. Holy crap, we were talking about that.
I know, but it's like we're back to it. Now the guy finally fucked everybody. Just remember, useless Rodney. Hashtag useless Rodney.
Hashtag.
Feel free to use that.
Hashtag.
Very fake president.
Use them hashtags.
Use the hashtags, bitches.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't be them internet haters. Use the hashtags.
Let's see. Is this playing or not? There we go. See you next time, folks.
We